Hannah. I'm an admissions counselor here from STU. So we're going to hear from some current students about their experience at STU. Again, all of us on this webinar today are current or former university students from St. Thomas. But it's always nice to hear from people that are currently experiencing what STU is like right now. So we'll start with some introductions. So I'll get everybody to say their name, where they're from, their year, and their major, and we'll start with Jason for that.
Thank you, Hannah. Hi, everyone. My name is Jason O'Hearn, and I'm from Campbellton, New Brunswick. I'm a fourth-year student here at St. Thomas University, double majoring in criminology and communications and public policy.
So next we'll go with Amik.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amik Bernal. I'm a third-year international student from Ecuador. I'm currently honoring in international relations, majoring in economics, and doing a minor in sociology. And I'm very involved in different clubs and societies here at St. Thomas University. That's something I really, really love. And I'm currently the president of the International Student Association.
Awesome. So Ethan, you're up next.
Morning, everyone. My name is Ethan. I'm a fourth-year student here at St. Thomas studying great books and political science. I'm involved in a couple of different things here on campus where I run for STU cross country. I work here at admissions. I'm also a writing center tutor, and I run a GED program for those experiencing homelessness here in Fredericton. And I'm really excited to answer some of your guys' questions today.
So I wanted to note as well that Ethan is actually a Rhodes Scholar. So everybody at STU has been very, very proud of Ethan this year. So next we'll have Stevie.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stevie DeMerchant, and I am a fourth-year student. I am currently doing my honors in criminology with a double minor in Native Studies and History. And I am the Indigenous representative on the St. Thomas Students Union, and that's me.
Awesome, thank you. And last up, we have Tisha.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tisha. I'm a second-year international student from Nigeria, and I do a couple of stuff on campus. I'm currently the public relations officer for STUISAT, that's our St. Thomas National Students Association. I'm also the secretary for the Black Student Association, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have today.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for your introductions. So we will get some questions going here. So I guess kind of to start us off, first, give me 1 second. So I guess the first question I kind of want to hear you guys talk about is what's one of the biggest reasons you chose St. Thomas? So I will start with Jason for that.
Absolutely. One of the biggest reasons I chose St. Thomas, I would also like to quickly add in one thing I'm involved with on campus. I'm the residence coordinator for Vanier Hall, and a little later on, you'll have a chance to meet with some folks on the residence life team, but just wanted to put that out there. But one of the biggest reasons I chose St. Thomas, I am local to New Brunswick, and I was looking for, I come from a small town, Campbellton, only about 8,000 people. My graduating class was about 90. So I was looking for that small town vibe almost. And St. Thomas was a choice. I always say Fredericton it has a small town charm, but it's big city spirit. With our small class sizes, capped at 60, I fell in love with STU when I came to our open house because, here, professors know you by name. When I walk into offices, I don't even have to give my student ID number. They just know who I am because we are able to build those connections. You're able to reach out personally. And it's just a very strong community feeling, which I was looking for. So that's the biggest reason why I chose St. Thomas.
Well, in my case, the reason why I chose St. Thomas University, I'm not going to lie. Once at the moment that you're choosing which university you want to go, it's definitely hard. On my case, for example, I come from particularly a big city from my home country, Ecuador. So it was kind of hard for me knowing that, for example, St. Thomas University is in a small city like Fredericton. But what really persuaded me to come to St. Thomas University was this phrase that this is a small university of big opportunities. And once now that I'm coming, I am here and I've got the opportunity not only to realize that, but like to be part of all the great opportunities that St. Thomas has definitely to offer to all the students is something like I definitely do not regret at all. Sometimes we have this idea that in order to get success, you must go to big universities, but definitely success is not something that a huge university is going to show you. I think it's something that you're going to work towards in your life, during your degree, during your connections. And definitely St. Thomas having a small class, that was something that was previously mentioned. Having a small size class in which the maximum amount of students that can be in a class is no more than 60, but the average is 24. It gives you the opportunity to build that community, to build that relationship with your classmates, to the community, and also with the professors. And that's something that you're really going to be thankful throughout your degree and throughout your life. I remember Alex even mentioned that nowadays he still keeps in touch with his professors. And that's something really great. Like you feel that you belong somewhere. And when St. Thomas definitely say that this is a small university of big opportunities, believe me that it is definitely true.
Yeah, just to speak from my own experience, I was really impressed by St. Thomas's commitment to the liberal arts. In high school, I was a bit of a bookish kid. I really wanted to figure out some schools that would let me read books all day. And I kind of found that here at St. Thomas. And well, I was quite surprised when I came here, the kind of attention that you get at a university of this size. I was really impressed by how professors reach out to you. They check in on you. They look out for you as you're doing your, not only your studies, but you're kind of getting involved in different things. I have professors that reach out to me and offer me different opportunities that, I would have never found on my own. And so these are kind of some of the reasons that I picked STU. Some of the people that I talked to before coming to STU kind of mentioned these things, just the closeness, the close relationships that you have with professors and with administrative staff. It really is a close-knit community. We like to joke here at STU that you can't walk through Jamestown Hall without running into 4 or 5 people that you know and stopping and having a conversation. So it's a bad place to cut through if you're late for a meeting. But that really is the type of community we have around here. People check in on you, they look out for you. And that's what really sold it to me. I remember having my first meeting with Christy and her mentioning these types of things, and I was kind of sold from there. So definitely the commitment to the liberal arts and the great community environment we have here at St. Thomas sold it for me.
I'm just jumping back onto the quality of life. When I came to STU, I originally wanted to study history. And that took a change very, very quickly. But I had the space, the time, and the support to do that. So St. Thomas University is a no-brainer.
Okay. I think one of the things that definitely did stand out for me was the fact that actually prior to coming here, I did everything virtually. And it was surprising, even though everything I did was, virtually from online, from my home country, Nigeria, everything was so personalized, starting from the tour. It was so customized to me, like we answered all my questions. And it's so funny how, I took my tour with a student, and I ended up, working as a campus tour ambassador with that same student. And, everybody was so welcoming from the first day and, helped me all the way. I was so nervous about coming, traveling all the way here, but I got picked up from the airport by St. Thomas University staff. Everybody welcomed me, helped me move into residence. I got really settled on so quickly, and that just made me feel so at home. I feel like coming here, a lot of professors, everybody's like involved in what you're doing, and they're so excited to see you grow as a person. And I've over the years that I've been here, I'm so excited to see my growth over the years and see what I'm doing. I just hope to get more involved on campus and still do more stuff.
Awesome, thank you everybody. So our next question is going to be for Jason. Always a question that a lot of students have. What is living in residence like?
I always say living in residence, it's more than just a place to sleep. It's a place to learn and grow. You really experience residence life. And that's definitely something I have seen in my time at St. Thomas. On most nights, you can't find an empty lounge because someone's either playing some board games, a card game, they're watching a movie, or there's just friends hanging out in residence. It's a really great community vibe, and it's one thing I found that helped me a lot in residence, moving to university, to a new town, to a new province, a new country can be scary. But living in residence gives you that safety net where it allows you to develop that independence, but with a safety net. So we have an exceptional team of residence advisors and residence coordinators who are on call and on duty throughout the night to answer your questions, meet with you. We work very closely with our security team and our facilities team to make sure the operations of the buildings are smoothly and effective to meet your residence life need. And there's so much programming. I've met some of my best friends in residence, both as a student and as a student staff member. Friends I know that will have lasting friendships throughout my life. So it's another way to be exposed to the St. Thomas community in a very unique way, because again, it's just not a place to sleep. It's a place to experience, live, learn, and grow.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. So our next question is going to be for Stevie. And it is, what types of opportunities are there for leadership and activism on campus?
Easiest way to say this is many, but we have an amazing students union at St. Thomas University. Our current president has opened so many avenues for all types of students to be leaders within their communities. And we see this within committees. I could name many, but I'm not. We see this in the activism, the student engagement, and the small community. It really, it kindles a lot of opportunity for student leadership. But just some examples, we have like the mental health committee, we have the National Indigenous Advocacy Committee. We have a committee that I'm currently chairing, which is the St. Thomas Students Reconciliation Committee. And this committee does a lot of different types of things throughout campus. For example, we've done like book views, book reviews, I mean, different powwows and cultural teachings. We do longhouse teachings, and this kindles some space and time for students to come and meet and learn different aspects of Indigenous culture. In my experience at St. Thomas University, I've been able to dip into many different committees, and it has built me up as a person. It has created so many opportunities for networking and creating long-lasting relationships that will be with me far past my university experience here.
Thank you, Stevie. Our next question is going to be for Ethan. So how do you feel that Stu's educational approach has prepared you for your next steps and other grads' next steps as well?
Yeah, I think that St. Thomas has a really great opportunities for preparing you for graduate school, if I understood the question correctly. In terms of thinking about next steps, St. Thomas does a really good job of preparing you early on, understanding all different opportunities available, doing postgrad programs or that an academics component. You kind of have difference of maybe trying moot court, which is a good preparation for law school. You could also be doing things like writing an honors thesis, which allows you the opportunity to have a thesis advisor, working closely on doing original research for, an academic style paper. And these kinds of things, in high school, something I probably never thought about, but when you get to St. Thomas, you quickly realize that that's an opportunity that most students have to wait until graduate school to kind of have that experience. You usually wait until graduate school to have that kind of one-on-one relationship with a professor, to be able to work on something that is truly your own work, that you got to think about deeply for a long period of time, and to write something that you're really proud of. And so these are kind of some of the different ways that you can prepare yourself for graduate school. But I know students from my own graduating class that are working towards, going to degrees next year for, 1-year master's programs that are putting them within the environmental field, working with major non-for-profit organizations in Europe. I have friends that are going to law school, the best law schools in the country. I have friends that are going into medical school from St. Thomas, doing their MCAT and that whole process. Students from St. Thomas really go everywhere. I have friends going to the best political science programs in the United States, and people like, some people like me are going to places like Oxford and doing things like that. And so at St. Thomas, though we might have not as many students as other schools, that really does afford you the opportunity to have real mentors that can walk you through the process and really kind of teach you the different kind of values that you need to start and habits that you need to start developing at a young age to really prepare you for things like graduate school and postgraduate diplomas.
Awesome. Thank you, Ethan. So our next question is going to be for Tisha. So can you talk about diversity in the STU community?
Oh, definitely. I think like that's one of my favorite things to actually do talk about, because that's something that I've experienced firsthand, and that's something that's amazing. So I'll start by saying that 11% of our student population actually happens in international students, and St. Thomas University has students from all around the world, like myself and so many other students. And, apart from that, we have, different types of students, and we have different, clubs, societies that actually do promote diversity on campus. I start by saying we have our St. Thomas International Student Association, we have the Black Student Association, we have the Women and Gender Society. There's so much to do on campus, to promote that promotes diversity, and the system also does promote diversity because they leave a lot of things that I feel like this is the first place I've come to that actually, one of the the schools I've attended, even from my home country, that actually creates an opportunity for everybody. And as much as the university is diverse, I like to say that there's something for everybody. There's everything is left open to students, regardless of where you're from, or where you come from, or what you do. There's always something for you.
Thank you. So our next question is going to be for Amik. So what supports are in place for international students at STU?
So that is a really great question, especially because I'm an international student, and that was one of the things that really conveyed me to come here. I know there's a lot of support for international students. Again, since the day one, you're not only building that international community, but you're also feeling a home away from home at St. Thomas University. Whenever the St. Thomas University or staff will tell you, here you're going to find a home away from home, believe them, because again, you're not only going to be part of the international community, but you're also going to feel belong to the entire Fredericton and St. Thomas community. There's a lot of opportunities here in terms of a scholarship, in terms of bursaries. For example, in the St. Thomas University Student Union, there's also an international student representative that is going to work towards the interests and the benefits for the international students. At the same time, as I mentioned, I'm the president of the International Student Association. So we're constantly trying to carry out different events, activities that make us feel represented at the university. Sometimes it is even hard for just a couple of students to try to represent all the entire international community. Currently, there's around 11 to 12% of the entire student population that are that comes from different parts of the world. There are over 40 countries here at St. Thomas University. So as Tisha was mentioning, the community here at St. Thomas, it's very, very diverse. And that's why we're currently actually, the International Association is working to host the Multicultural Fair in March 18. This year, our theme is about embracing our colors. It's about recognizing our flag's color. It's about recognizing the diversity, the culture that here and in the entire city that we have, and all the funds raised during the event are towards giving bursaries for international students again. So this is not only about hosting events and having some fun, but at the same time trying to empower and give more opportunities for those students, leadership, and those students that really need them. So in St. Thomas, you're definitely going to find plenty of opportunities.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amik. So we're going back to Tisha for our next question. So this student said, I'm from a sub-Saharan African country. I'm an undergraduate and I wanted to know, how did you adjust to living in Canada? So they specifically want to know, did you get the supports you needed from students, staff, and other professors on campus?
Definitely I did. So I come from Nigeria also, so I can relate to that. It's really hot. It's quite cold here in Canada, but honestly, I say that's something, you get used to, every single day. So I'll start with saying that the university is so supportive by, there's something called winter warm up. So winter clothing, can be a little bit expensive for some people, or, it's generally expensive. And, St. Thomas University does something called winter warm up, where we have, students can actually come pick up, gently used clothing for free and actually, get warm during winter. There's so many events like, coffee houses, there's, so many things actually, keep warm, get used to the winter. And, we have our international student coordinator who's Carrie, and she actually supports international students with that. I know, they take you to the mall, help you get, buy the right clothes. And if you have any questions, there's also, Big Buddies on Campus, which is also, hosted by, St. Thomas University International Association. So you actually get paid for not pay a student to help you actually transition into the, the winter, into the, educational system here. So I'll actually like to say that, it's really easy. It's tough, but, you get the support you need. And I like to say that with support, things get easier. The professors are also super understanding as well. A lot of professors are actually really nice. I had a professor actually, ask me if I'm okay, if I'm adjusting, because they noticed I was kind of down in class one time. So I just like to say that, everybody is actually kind of supportive, and that really helped me get used to winter. I feel like now I'm so used to it. It's just like, I just put on the right clothing and I get right outside.
Awesome, thank you. So our next question, we're going back to Jason again for another residence question. So the student wants to know what the buildings are called on campus and where they are, and also what's included in your residence fees.
Absolutely. So we have three traditional style residence buildings on campus: Vanier Hall, Harrington Hall, and Holy Cross House. Harrington and Vanier are fairly close to each other. They're just in between, they're just on the sides, the opposite sides of George Martin. So it's a 30-second walk to Meal Hall. So that's really great on a Saturday morning when you're want to sleep in and it's too cold out. So you just have a quick walk to Meal Hall, and Holy Cross is just a minute away from George Martin Hall. Harrington and Vanier are bigger residences. We can accommodate up to 185 students in Vanier. And Vanier is now our gender neutral housing, which includes gender neutral wing. And as far as the residence fees, you have your standard room rate, which can be found at stu.ca, but then we also have laundry fees and other programming fees to assist the Residence Life Office in making sure we can provide quality programming and quality services, and a detailed for all the specific fees, what that would look like, can be found at stu.ca.
Awesome, thank you, Jason. So next up is going to be Stevie again. So what is the Wabanaki Center, and can you go there if you're not an Indigenous student?
So the Wabanaki Center is just a small room located on the top floor of Sir James Dunn Hall. Within the center, we have a Indigenous student support service worker, Cameron Solis, and she does many things in the Wabanaki Center. She does weekly lunches that everybody, Indigenous, non-Indigenous students, are welcome to. Movie nights, just sometimes they'll come in and she'll have snacks made up for us. And this center is for all students, Indigenous, non-Indigenous, staff, faculty. It's a place of community. It's a place of safety and love. And I really quite enjoy having as many people possible up there. It's a really nice space.
Thank you, Stevie. Our next question is going to be for Amik. So what services or features are in place to ensure student safety on campus?
Definitely. I mean, I really like this question, especially because, again, as I mentioned on my previous question, I come from a big city, relatively big city from Ecuador. And I feel that sometimes living in a big city, it tends to be very dangerous, especially if you come from the third world. When I transitioned here to Fredericton, Canada, I really feel safe. Having literally everything very close. You can walk from uptown to downtown, very, very safe. You can feel very safe even on campus. We do have, for example, UMB security, and we also have some campus patrol constantly at the university and at different events, so that we can actually contribute to the safety of students. Something I even heard once is that we took all of these resources not as a reactive, but as a proactive. Like even though Fredericton itself and St. Thomas University is a very, very safe place to be, we do have all of these sources in case to avoid any situations, although it is very less likely to occur. We also have, thanks to the St. Thomas University Student Union, we do have what's called, for example, a safe ride and a safe walk. So for example, if you one day feel that you wanna go to your house from the university in the evening, you can take this free one ride service towards your house. Or if you one day, for example, especially during the fall or in the spring, when the university and landscapes are really, really beautiful, you feel like walking home, you can definitely call what's called Safe Walk. So one of our campus patrol members will go with you and contribute again to your safety. In general, St. Thomas University, in terms of safeness, is a very secure place. You can feel free in terms of diversity. Nobody's gonna judge you at all. Again, you have all the services to feel yourself.
Awesome, thank you. So we have time for one more question, and this one's going to be for Ethan. So you already spoke to this a bit, but what kind of on-campus jobs and internship opportunities are available to students?
Yeah, that's a great question. A wonderful thing about St. Thomas is they realize that this is kind of a need that students have, is that, students also need to work a little bit usually to help fund their education and, pay rent and things like this. And one thing that they did is STU has set up so many on-campus jobs that you don't have to travel to your work. You can kind of walk out of class and walk right into work. And so some of the different opportunities you have, you can work in things like, I work at the Writing Center, where you work one-on-one with students to help them with their writing projects. There's something called peer tutoring, where you can be a peer tutor in a class. So helping students, let's say, if you took a history class and did quite well in it, you want to help the younger students in it. That's another opportunity. You can work for things on campus like our athletics department, doing work at our JB O'Keefe gym, and you can do all types of work like with our IT services. So there's kind of little jobs here and there that you can work on campus that are really great opportunities. Of course, you can work as a campus tour ambassador, like many of us here are, helping with kind of admissions and recruitment, welcoming students here to STU. But I also really like to note that the STU internships program is quite phenomenal for the school of our size. You really have these opportunities every term and over the summer to do a 16-week-long internship, which is either for credit, which is to say it replaces a class, or it's for pay, and it pays quite well. And so this past summer, I did an internship at the Nature Trust of New Brunswick doing environmental activism work, which was really exciting. I had a friend work at the Fredericton Harvest Jazz and Blues Music Festival, where he got to work with artists and vendors and things like that. Super cool. I have friends that have worked for like Goose Lane Publishing, and people who work for home care centers and things like this. So there really are opportunities all around Fredericton, and experiential learning likes to advertise as well, that if there's a connection that you have to an organization in Fredericton that you'd like to work for, they can always try and work out that like some sort of contract between the school and them in order to have that type of internship opportunity as well. And so STU is really good at making sure that students have different and interesting experiential learning opportunities working throughout kind of some of Fredericton's best organizations. And so those are kind of some of the experience that I know of, and they've been super kind of formative to my experience here at STU.
Awesome, thank you, Ethan. So that's pretty much all the time we have today for the current student panel. So I just wanted to thank all of our students for being here today. I know it's kind of getting up close to midterm season, so thank you for taking some time to come and do this. I would take a break from your studying for a little while. So if you have any questions, we also have a feature on our website, stu.ca/chat, where you can actually reach out to our current students and ask them any questions you have about being a student at STU and what it's like in the STU community. But I will pass it back to Christy for now. So thank you again for all being here.